Welcome to the He's Got Issues Independent Comics Edition number 16. I'm John Cooney here to preview new independent comics being released June 5th, 2013, beginning alphabetically with Boom Studios and Garfield number 14. Summer fun, Garfield style. As fun as lounging on the beach and catching rays can be, an all-new issue of Garfield will make your summer vacation even better. This month we welcome guest artist Courtney Bernard to our jamboree, and our backup story will rock your world. Next, we've got Herobear and the Kid, special number 1. The independent all-age smash Herobear and the Kid returns. It's picture day at Tyler's school, and naturally he's forgotten. But before Tyler can pick his good side, he has to sneak out of class with his best friend Herobear to stop an attack on the Simpleton Bridge from the mysterious Von Klon and his sub of doom, and he better not lose his hall pass in the process. Don't miss as creator Mike Kunkel relaunches his Eisner Award-winning creation at Kaboom with a brand new original adventure. We've also got Hypernaturals number 12, the final issue. With the entire continuum's fate hanging in the balance, the Hypernaturals must make the ultimate sacrifice. But who will step up to the plate, and who will try to stop them? Find out here in the final issue of the Hypernaturals. Next, we've got Planet of the Apes Cataclysm number 10. Post-Cataclysm cleanup is turning out to be just as dangerous as the calamity itself, as Dr. Dejah struggles to keep a fractured society together. Ape must not harm ape, but soon there may be no choice. We've also got Polarity number 3 of 4. As Tim starts to become comfortable with his new powers, he begins fighting the good fight unconventionally, attacking evils relevant to people of his generation. Meanwhile, Dr. Mays seems to have his own plans for Tim. Issue number 3 of Polarity is teeming with even more dark humor and commentary on the life of an indecisive 20-something-year-old, as only Say Anything frontman Max Bemis could write. Each issue comes with a free download for a new original song written and performed by Max Bemis. And we've got Suicide Risk number 2. When there are only villains, being a hero makes you a suicide risk. After barely surviving a superpowered bank heist gone horribly wrong, beat cop Leo Winters vowed to try and find a way to stop them. Following a lead, he discovered 2 lowlifes who seemed to be able to grant a person powers for the right price. Thing is, you don't get to choose which power. It's seemingly random, a crapshoot, a risk. And now Leo will find out just how big of a risk he took. From Eisner Award-nominated creator Mike Carey and hot newcomer Alina Casagrande, with covers by Tommy Lee Edwards and Stephanie Hans, Suicide Risk is a high-octane, mind-bending exploration of what it means to be a hero. From Dark Horse Comics, we've got Abe Sapien number 3. A town cut off from the world by rampaging monsters must decide if the strange fishman in their midst signals salvation or the end of days. We've also got Empowered Special number 4, Terror Pin, Power Pachyderm, Brass Monkey, Siberian Tiger, Super Cobra, Mall Bunny. Can struggling superheroine Empowered foil a mass carjacking by these animal-armored crime bots at the 21st Annual Alternate Timeline Superhero Auto Show? Can one exceedingly flimsy supersuit overcome 14 hostile tons of heavy metal? This action-packed new Empowered one-shot says, maybe. 30 brand new story pages with art by Mecha Master John Staton and major color Domo Roboto, plus bonus art by Adam Warren. Next, we've got Michael Avon Oeming's The Victories number 2 of 5, Transhuman Part 2. A new world order plotted by a secret cabal known as the Advisors seems to be connected to the crazed criminal known as the Jackal. Metatron's trip to the moon and a deadly new villain known as Tarkus. What does it mean for Faustus and his teammates? We've also got Mr. X Eviction number 2 of 3. Visionary artist and designer Dean Motter reintroduces his classic character. When Radiant City's government falls to a coup, Mr. X's possession of secret city plans makes him and his friends a target for the city's new masters. Backup story featuring Rosetta Stone. Ain't It Cool News says, a visual treat for those that remember a time that never was. And we've got Star Wars Dark Times Fire Carrier number 5 of 5. Jedi Master Kirk fights with militia soldiers to an abrupt end with the appearance of not one but 2 unexpected allies. The refugee he and the Padawans have sought may be in sight, but a shadow from within their own ranks bodes a perilous future. From Dynamite Entertainment, we've got Black Bat number 2. The redemptive quest of the Black Bat continues. As the cloaked hero launches his campaign against his criminal former clients, he must save the police from a mysterious captor. What darkness from Tony's past threatens his newfound war on crime? Next, we've got Dark Shadows number 17. Barnabas fights for his very soul. But is it even worth saving? The Collinwood estate is rocked to its core. Some allies will not survive this conflict. The cataclysmic future of 1984 will be changed this issue, but will it be for the better or the worse? We've also got Dejah, Thoris, and the Green Men of Mars number 4 of 8, now an 8-issue series. It doesn't exactly count as escape from the rogue Tharks who wanted to sell you for meat if you're lost in a system of caves and they're chasing you. But it might count for something if a beaten and traumatized Dejah Thoris can start fighting back in the darkness and killing some of them. We've also got Garth Ennis, Red Team number 3. At Eddie's insistence, the Red Team expands its area of operations to cover a certain unexpected target, but they may have made a fatal misstep. Meanwhile, another of Eddie's initiatives causes Trudy no small amount of trouble. Everyone's limits are tested as our heroes move further down their dangerous path. We've also got Kirby Genesis Dragonsbane number 4. In the thunderous finale of the first story arc, Sigurd Dragonsbane and his band of champions, comprising the finest warriors from across the many Mythlands, reach the end of their quest, and what they find awaiting them is very different from what they expected, and unimaginably more lethal as well. Plus a startling revelation that will alter Dragonsbane's life forever. Next, we've got Lone Ranger number 15, the beginning of a bold new arc that takes the Lone Ranger and Tonto across the Mississippi to the eastern half of the United States. The Ranger wants answers from a federal agent who used and betrayed the West's most iconic heroes. Getting satisfaction proves costly, as neither the Lone Ranger or Tonto are ready for what may be the deadliest setting they've ever faced. The back rooms and hidden agendas of the civilized world. Back East, Part 1 of 4. Next, we've got Miss Fury number 3. In 1943, Miss Fury is drunk and suicidal, tightrope walking on the edge of one of Manhattan's highest skyscrapers. In 2013, she's involved in a life-or-death high-speed bike chase through the center of Washington, D.C. with the time-traveling armored Nazi agents. Which reality is true? Meanwhile, CIA agent Harmon reveals to Miss Fury the true identity of the scientist who sent her hurtling through time, but when she tracks down one of the top Nazi agents in 2013, she discovers that her war may have already been lost. And we've got Spider number 12. The unthinkable has happened. Richard Wentworth has been arrested for the crimes of the Spider, with the unholy alliance between the Fly and the Lawgiver threatening to destroy New York's police force. With the Spider on the run and Commissioner Kirkpatrick abducted, the deadly endgame begins, and there is no one to stop a deadly attack that will leave the city without government or law enforcement. Be prepared for a shocking conclusion. From IDW Publishing, we've got Colonized number 3 of 4. The zombie horde is growing, the aliens and humans are outmanned and out-aliened, and the citizens of Carbon Falls are beset from all sides, which all pale before the looming explosive threat brought on from one of their own. Next, we've got Haunted Horror number 5. You can judge this comic book by its cover. A zombie from the sea is jettisoned onto a blonde in a revealing negligee, and what's behind the scanties just keeps getting better. Top artists of the Golden Age and rare horror stories, these creepy, eerie comics from Vaults of Horror will appall you, shock you, horrify you, disgust you, make you throw up in your mouth a little. In other words, you'll love them. Read the comics that your mom, Dr. Frederick Worthless, and the U.S. Senate didn't want you to see. Don't miss this. Next, we've got Locke and Key Omega number 5 of 7. In the Drowning Cave, the black door is open at last, and for the kids trapped down there, the choice is simple. Resist and die, or pass through the door and be lost forever. In the hole beneath Key House, the stones run with blood, the living shadows run riot, and time runs out as Locke and Key enters its final chapters. Next, we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Color Classics number 11. Devastated by a traumatic fight with the Foot and the Shredder, the TMNT returned to Northampton. This issue serves as a poetic coda to the original astounding run of Eastman and Laird on TMNT. And we've got Transformers Robots in Disguise number 18, Survivor's Guilt. After the shattering events of the past 2 issues, we can't tell you who's alive and who's dead, but we will hint that one Cybertronian has to reconsider her worldview while she comes face to face with some old enemies. We won't mention any names, but she's in for the fight of her life. From Image Comics, we've got 68 Jungle Gym number 3 of 4. In a tangled jungle known as the Hellhole, Fang and Machete join forces as 2 relentless predators massacre the living dead. At Salute Glen Mission, the Viet Cong teach a monstrous lesson in depravity and torture, and deep in the scalding shadows of war-torn Laos, the children are weeping, but the Reaper is coming, and they'll be hell to pay. We've also got all-new Secret Skullkickers number 1. The all-new Secret Skullkickers. We can't hide the secret any longer. Skullkickers is the most fun, adventurous comic in the entire industry. Jump on board with this unbooted new first issue and see why. And for those of you wishing comics kept the original numbering, no problem. Our B-cover variant is a Legacy-tastic issue 22. P.S. retailers, rack this comic beside other all-new or secret comics you may have at your shop and tell people it's a crossover or alternate universe title. Next, we've got Bedlam number 7, with the solicit simply, Way Back When. We've got Blackacre number 7. A disgraced leader braces for the fight of his life. A pariah comes to grips with the confounding new world, and a lethal duo set out to track down an old ghost. Arc 2 begins here. Next, we've got Darkness number 113. Alone in the woods. Darkness bearer Jackie Estacado's daughter Hope has wandered beyond the perimeter of her father's vigilantly guarded estate, Air One. When night falls in the woods and the supernatural begins to stir, Hope is more at home than ever before. Don't miss the twisted fairy tale that illustrates firsthand that Hope is truly her father's daughter. Next, we've got East of West number 3, The Dragon. Death's reign of terror over those who rule continues as the forces of the end times continue to work to bring about the apocalypse. It's the end of the world. Someone dies, someone lives, and someone falls in love. We've also got Invincible Universe number 3. Chupacabra is a recovering alcoholic with a lot to atone for, but will he find redemption in Siberia at the hands of a dead teammate's family or climb back into the bottle? We've also got Mice Templar 4, Legends number 3, The Storytellers. Carrick returns to where his saga began, within the cavern of the fish gods, where the young hero of prophecy and destiny demands an answer regarding his fate. Meanwhile, his old friend Lieto, who believes Carrick died as a youth, discovers unexpected love in the town of Bluth. Yet the insidious manipulator Pilot the Tall weaves tales of deception that may doom the one-armed storyteller forever, and the growing legend of Carrick reveals an insidious darkness within those who follow his cause. Next, we've got Perhaps a Naught's Danger Down Under number 5 of 5, The Australian Adventure conclusion. The incredible finale, it all comes crashing together here. The stunning conclusion that just wrecks the place. We've been building to this climax for 5 issues and you won't be disappointed. Also, look at those freaking variant covers, plus the startling epilogue that you won't be forgetting anytime soon. Be there. We've also got Savage Dragon number 188, The Claw. The Claw returns. The legendary villain from the Golden Age of comics strikes again. Malcolm Dragon joins forces with the Claw's most hated enemy, the Golden Age Daredevil, in an effort to stop the notorious menace. Plus, we continue to look into the lives of the sons and daughters of Chicago's vicious circle. It's a tantalizing glimpse at the crime family they were born to inherit and the forces who oppose them. We've also got Son of Merlin number 5, conclusion. Dr. Simon Ambrose, MIT professor and heir to Merlin's magic legacy, has fled from the vengeful Morgana long enough. Now it's time to stand his ground and fight. But will inherited talent and his cursory understanding of Merlin's diaries be enough to conquer a mage of Morgana's level and might? We've also got Spawn number 232, Complex Messiah Part 4, A Massacre, An Awakening, and The True Face of Evil, featuring another classic Todd McFarlane cover. As the world eagerly awaits the gifts of their newest savior, Jim Downing's struggle for control over the darkness within him threatens to jeopardize everything he has worked to build. Violence erupts in the deserts of Mexico as the K7 goes on a feeding frenzy, and for the first time Jim awakens to the realities of the monster that lives within him. Can a man live with so much blood on his hands, or will the weight of the world's sins crush any hope of salvation? While Jim wrestles with his new reality, an old adversary explores the true power behind Jim's miracles as the curse makes its deadly return. Also featuring the K7, Letha is a weapon of mass destruction birthed in the pits of hell, a living creation built for one purpose, death. But what happens when a tool of unending violence has its own ambitions? A dark future awaits, and the path forward begins here. And we've got 10 Grand number 2, Angels Never Lie, FDA, that's Federal Demon Association, advisory. Contents contain one cult church where incantations are encoded into the playlist, one flesh-dwelling, food-obsessed demon, one seer capable of perceiving the spirit world but blinded to this one missing woman, one murder, one angel with an agenda of his own, and one rendezvous between supernatural investigator Joe Fitzgerald and the woman he loves, now deceased, in what may or may not be heaven. Warning, do not operate heavy equipment while reading. From Valiant Entertainment, we've got Archer and Armstrong number 10, all new arc, Archer and Armstrong and Aliens, oh my. Mary Maria, Archer's arch nemesis slash love interest slash adopted sister, is back, ready to take over the sect by any means necessary. And what better way to seize control of the secret society of secret societies than by unlocking their most secretive of secrets on the secretest place on Earth? And who but the Valiant Universe's premier team of conspiracy busters can possibly stop her? Just when you thought this book couldn't get any weirder, Archer and Armstrong storm Area 51, and things get weirder still. And we've got SHADOWMAN number 7. There's a dark light dawning over New Orleans. Dr. Mirage talks to the dead, and right now the dead are screaming, caught between the sinister will of Master Dark and the power of Baron Samedi. Will SHADOWMAN and Mirage be able to defeat them both, or will New Orleans fall to the dead? Out in trades this week from IDW, we've got Star Trek Legion of Superheroes trade paperback. IDW Publishing and DC Comics are proud to present the greatest tale of the 23rd century, or is that the 31st century? Eisner-nominated writer Chris Robertson and Star Trek and Legionnaires veteran artist Jeffrey Moy collaborate to bring you the most bizarre partnership of any century. The crew of the Starship Enterprise and the Legion of Superheroes come face to face as they deal with the changed history and timeline that neither knows the cause of. Traveling to the past and the future to find answers, both teams must work together to set things right. And from Image Comics, we've got Walking Dead Volume 18, What Comes After, trade paperback. Following the events of Something to Fear, Rick and the other survivors accept a new way of life under Negan's rule, but not everyone agrees. Collects The Walking Dead number 103 to 108. And from Valiant, we've got Harbinger Volume 2 Renegades trade paperback. Outside the law, inside your head. Welcome to the Renegades. Battered and broken after his escape from the Harbinger Foundation, telekinetic teenager Peter Stanchek only has one option left: run. But he won't have to go it alone. Crisscrossing America with the only two people he can trust, Peter will have to activate a new team of superpowered recruits before Toyo Harada and his Harbinger shock troops can reach them first. Peter Stanchek, Zephyr, Chris, Flamingo, you've never met a team of superpowered teenagers quite like the Renegades, and together they'll dismantle Harada's global empire one brick at a time. Collecting Harbinger numbers 6 through 10. And we've got Valiant Masters ShadowMan Volume 1 Spirits Within hardcover, the deluxe hardcover collecting ShadowMan's legendary first appearance in the original Valiant universe, featuring classic work by Steve Ditko, Steve Englehart, Bob Hall, David Lapham, Jim Shooter, and more. Jack Boniface nearly died one night, attacked by something out of a nightmare, but since that terrifying experience, something has changed. Now, when darkness falls, a feeling comes over him, an urge to destroy the demons that would defile the New Orleans night. Wild, reckless, and hell-bent on eliminating evil in all its forms, Jack is now the city's new protector, the nocturnal avenger simply called Shadowman. This volume collects Shadowman number 0 through 7 and material from Dark Passages number 1. Okay, so that's a look at some of the top independent publishers this week, but there's still plenty of other books out as well, so be sure to check out my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com to see both my Marvel and DC videos for this week, as well as my usual roundup of all my favorites for the week, with a little more depth and insight than you get here. And if you like these videos, be sure to let me know by leaving a comment and subscribing. You can also follow He's Got Issues on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest to see everything I'm reading as I read it. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.